yoga tutorial. Today we're going to talk about Savasana. So I'm going to break it down: who, what, when, where, why, and finally how, and then just some tips in order to help you get into it. So grab your mat, grab a fluffy pillow if you want, something comfy, comfortable clothes, an eye pillow, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable, fuzzy socks, a sweatshirt, and we'll get into it. So Savasana. Shava meaning corpse, asana meaning pose or seat. Savasana, spelled Savasana in Sanskrit, pronounced Shavasana, everybody's favorite time of class. It's your final resting posture or corpse pose, which sounds really morbid, but it signals the end of your yoga practice. Breaking it down, who does Shavasana? Obviously, all yogis do Shavasana. What is it? Like we discussed, it's corpse pose, final resting pose. Pretty simple. When? As I said, it's at the end of your practice. As far as duration, the goal is 5 minutes. If you can stretch it to 10 minutes, that'd be amazing. Where? This occurs on your mat, obviously. We can get into what it looks like in a moment. But basically, wherever yoga is practiced. You can even do this in bed, lying in bed, on the beach, on a blanket, in a yoga studio. You get the picture. You can do it anywhere. Except for, like in the middle of the grocery store. And finally, why? Why do we do Shavasana? It's a good question. I mean, when I first started practicing yoga, I didn't know why we did Shavasana, and nobody ever really explains it. You're just kind of laying down at the end of your practice, and I remember when I first began practicing, I would look around the room and be like, are we really supposed to be laying down right now with our eyes closed? Like, are we taking a nap? What are we doing? So, why do we practice Shavasana? It allows the benefits of your practice, however long your practice was, to seep into the body. Yoga is a mind-body practice, so in order to receive all of the benefits from your mind-body practice that just happened, you need to slow down, lay down, be still for a few moments to allow all of that to seep in. Another reason why it's so rare that we get a moment of our day that's just sitting in stillness. So it's a meditative-like state, which meditation is a whole other tutorial. So look out for that one. Maybe I'll do one on meditation. But also another why is to allow your mind and body to process the nutrients of your practice, to process the shift of energy that just occurred in your practice. Again, no matter how long your practice was, you need to lay there for a few moments to just let everything seep in before you move on with the rest of your day. So next is how. Basically, you lay down on your back, close your eyes, but the setup is important, as well as coming out of the posture. So if you have your mat and a pillow or whatever else you need to make yourself comfortable, you can come on down. So you've reached the end of your practice. It's time to soften, surrender, let go, take up space. Every instructor describes Shavasana differently. They'll instruct you into it differently and out of it differently. But it's all basically the same. You're just laying down. So come on down to the floor. I like to put a pillow under my knees. That feels good to me, but you can put the pillow behind your head, wherever feels good. So come on down, and we'll just begin the setup process. So just start out, your palms face up by your sides, taking up space, letting the feet splay out, maybe wiggling the toes a little bit, the fingers, just kind of getting the wiggles out. I like to tuck my tail to the front edge of my mat, lengthen through the back of the neck, so tucking the chin slightly, snuggling the shoulder blades under the back body, opening up through the heart space. Beginning to close the eyes, softening the jaw, the forehead. Maybe letting the teeth separate in the mouth. Just letting everything soften. This is the time where we let go of the Ujjayi breath. Take a deep breath in and open the mouth. Exhale. Letting go of the Ujjayi breath, letting go of thought or expectation. You enter the role of the observer here. Kind of just let your mind wander. Acting as if your thoughts were cars on a highway and you were kind of sitting off to the side on a hillside, maybe. This is what I like to picture. And just kind of observing the cars as they go by. So each car is a thought, and you're just kind of watching your thoughts, not judging anything that's coming into your brain, just observing. And just softly melting into your mat, into the floor, feeling the earth rise up to meet you. And resting here. I often like to perform a body scan, and I'll instruct my students to do so. So starting with the feet, moving all the way up through the legs, the hips, lower back, middle of your back, upper back, shoulders, arms, forearms, wrists, through the neck, head, top of the head. Softening the face. You can often perform this body scan a few times, maybe moving a little bit slower or faster depending on what you need. Finding stillness for a few moments. If you'd like to pause the video and practice your Savasana, you can do that now. Otherwise, we'll move on. So to come out of Savasana, I often instruct to bring small movements back to the fingers and toes. I really like to bring my thumb to each finger tip, going back and forth, wiggling the toes, ankles, wrists. Inhaling the arms up and overhead, full body stretch. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest, rolling over onto your favorite side, resting here, letting your head rest on your arm, pausing for a moment of gratitude for yourself, your practice, carving this time out of your day. And then gently pressing up to a seated position, cross-legged, sitting up tall, taking your time, no rush. Never rush out of Savasana. So here's my other tricks of the trade. A good one is to loosen your hairdo or take out your ponytail. Now that I have short hair, sometimes I'll put my hair on the top of my head and put hair clips in the back or whatever. I'll just take those out. I've come out of Savasana with some pretty wacky hair in the past. Literally no one cares. So just do what you need to do in order to make yourself supremely comfortable. So if you do find that your mind is starting to wander, like I said, taking on the observer role, pretending that your thoughts are the cars that are passing by. But if you're finding that you're getting a lot of thoughts and you just can't, seem to get a grasp on controlling them, it's great to bring the focus back to the breath, not the Ujjayi breath, just noticing the breath coming in and the breath going out. Another one is to focus your attention, your drishti, on your third eye with your eyes closed. So, I mean, you can try it now if you want, just kind of gazing at your third eye. So it sounds weird, but that's another trick of the trade. Oh, another great one is use props. Like I said, I just have this pillow. I don't have like my blocks and stuff with me here in Texas, but you know, using props, a pillow, a bolster, blanket. You can cover yourself with a blanket. Eye pillow, as I said at the beginning. If you have low back pain and you're finding that it's uncomfortable to stretch your legs long out in front of you, a great one is the pillow under the knees, because that just kind of supports and takes some pressure off your low back. I even do that with my patients in the hospital. But another one, if you're in Savasana and not in hospital, you bring your feet wide and knock your knees together gently. And this seems to take some pressure off of the low back as well. Another option for Shavasana positioning, which I'll cue to my students a lot, is bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees come out wide, basically Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. So this can be a big hip opener, so if your hips are tight or if this feels uncomfortable, obviously don't do it. But sometimes I like to just let this kind of steep, and my hips actually feel better after I come out of it. So you can bring your hands out, you can bring your hands to your thigh creases, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your low belly. Same thing with feet extended. If you don't feel comfortable with palms face up, you can bring your hands to your belly. This actually encourages you to pay attention to your breath, sending your breath all the way into your belly. So basically there's nothing you can really do that's wrong in Shavasana. I mean, you do want to, if you're in a studio, you do want to allow silence, stillness, in order to make sure that your fellow yogis are also in their own space and their own mind, integrating the benefits of their practice. So it's important to be still and to be quiet. I'm going to go back for a moment and talk about this fetal pose. Kind of interesting. So as I had talked about at the beginning of this video, Shavasana is corpse pose, so it's kind of like it's signaling the end of your practice. You know, it's like death, kind of weird, but and then to come out of Shavasana, we enter fetal pose, so it's kind of like your own rebirth from your yoga practice. So it's important to not skip the rolling over on your side with your knees into your chest, because you're being reborn out of your yoga practice. To sum up, look like SpongeBob. Finding stillness in the mind and body. Yoga is a mind-body practice, so allowing for this stillness allows you to reap the benefits of your practice and integrate these benefits into your mind and into your body. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, as always, and stay tuned for some more tutorials. They will not be in Texas anymore. Darn. But hope you all have a great day, y'all. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.